everybody and welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video, as you can see by the video title, I'm going to be answering a really important question that I get asked a lot, especially by the aspiring medics, and that is, how hard is medical school? And today I thought it's very important for me to address some of the challenges that I've faced over the past 4 years at medical school. And this is really because I think a lot of the time, on my channel in particular, I put a very positive spin on things. And honestly, I really do try to stay very positive, and I really love studying medicine. I wouldn't change it for the world. But if you want to apply and study medicine and become a doctor, it's really important that you understand there's a lot of challenges that come with this degree, studying this degree, and then obviously as a doctor as well. So I thought I'd try and answer this question as best as I can today and kind of share my insight. Okay, the first thing that I would say is the workload. I think let's just address the big one first. There is a lot of studying and a lot of content to get through at medical school. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, this is just on my desk right now. This is the contents list that I've printed out of everything I need to know, and I don't know how well you can really see this, but it's quite lengthy, it's quite long, and when you really start to revise and you have to understand the presentations, the investigations, the differentials, the management plans and all of that for every single condition, it becomes quite a lot. And not only, do you have to do things for your knowledge exam, but actually for your OSCEs as well. So the OSCEs is the practical part, and that's all about your communication skills, your examination skills. And I think I've faced this problem a lot more now in my clinical years. Years 1 to 3, I honestly didn't find that bad, if I'm being totally honest. But year 4 is definitely more difficult. And it's not just the workload, it's not like when you're at school, where you go to school and then you come home and you might have a bit of homework, but then you're free. It's not really like that at medical school, because during the day you'll be on placement, and when you come home from placement you're kind of tired from trying to absorb everything that's going on there, and when you come home you have all these lectures and all this workload to get through as well. And the funny thing is, no one tells you to do what when. And I go to Edinburgh Medical School, which is I think one of the best medical schools in the UK. But this is you being an adult, and this is you being a university student, and I think it's the same for all courses, but you don't have the same information like spoon-fed to you like it was in high school, where you'll be told when to do what. They might give you a basic structure or an outline, but it really comes down to you as an individual about how you plan your days, when you go on placement, and when you dedicate time to studying, and then also for all these other hobbies and family and friends. So definitely managing workload has been a big challenge this year, and I think semester 1 of 4th year in particular was very hard, and when it got to the exam I was really cram revising, which doesn't happen often with me because I'm normally quite organised, but it was very hard semester 1. Semester 2 I think I've got a bit more of a study plan going on, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's definitely a big challenge. Okay, the next big thing I want to talk about, and maybe this is about students in general, I think that when you are at the age of 17, 18, you want to become more independent, and you want to move out, and you want to explore a new city, but the truth is you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Honestly, you don't know. And I'm very grateful that I stayed at home. I grew up in Edinburgh. I'm staying home for medical school. But I cannot imagine having to do my grocery shopping, possibly a part-time job, looking for accommodation, and exploring and trying to navigate a new city, all whilst being at medical school. So one of my biggest advice, and I know that some people might come at me for this, but if you can stay home from medical school, please do, because you'll thank yourself in a few years. Of course, it's not for everyone, but if you get along well enough with your family, and your city is all right, and you live in the UK, so whatever medical school you go to, you'll be fine. try and stay home if you can, because I know for a lot of my friends that had to move out, it's been really hard, especially working a part-time job, things like that. It's really difficult to manage that alongside all of the studying that you've got to do. So don't take this matter lightly, and really think about what you're getting yourself into, and remember that no matter what, your family is a really big support for you, and you'll save money, you'll save time, and you'll save all the mental stress as well that comes with becoming independent. So yeah, a bit of a controversial piece of advice, but yeah. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is exams. And when I talk about exams, what I mean is, you know, in high school, I think for a lot of people who get into medical school, they're at the top of their class kind of people, right? You know, you're very used to getting 80-90% in exams. But, you know, as you come into medical school, you'll realize that the exams are more difficult. You're in a cohort of very smart people, and there can be a sense of imposter syndrome. So for those of you who might not have heard of imposter syndrome, it's this feeling that you're not good enough, or when you start comparing yourself to other people in your year group, and that puts you down. So it's something that, you know, even for myself, it comes and goes in phases where I think I'm not doing enough, where I get so caught up in marks and grades and, you know, building my portfolio that I forget to actually enjoy what I'm studying, and that's not good. So if you come to medical school, I think you need to come with the mindset that exams are not going to define how good you are as a doctor. As long as you are passing and you're meeting the requirements of your university to progress through to the next year, you're going to be fine. I think what's going to make you a good doctor is the stuff that you do outside of studying as well. So building those key communication skills and really taking interest and insight to specialties that you want to go into. That's my personal view on it, but it's very, very easy at medical school to get caught up and become very competitive, and it's not a good mindset to be in. So yeah, I don't know, try and avoid that if you can. I think another reason why medicine is a difficult degree to study is because it's longer than most other degrees, and you're actually in university for longer. That means that you're making money later. You are not as independent as, you know, your peers. So, you know, some of your peers at the age of 30 will be doing a lot better than you are at 30, because you only graduated at the age of like 23, 24 at earliest. Whereas, you know, some of your peers, if they're graduating at the age of 21, 22, then that means that by the age of 30, they'll have some good career progression. Whereas for medicine, you know, you will, so I mean, at Edinburgh it's a 6-year course if you're doing intercalation. After that you do your 2 foundation years, and then you think about applying to specialties, which even then you might get into first time, you might not, so you might be adding on a couple more foundation years there. So I think that the UK medicine training pathway, it's long, but realistically, you know, if you think about being a patient yourself, you want to go to doctors that have a good amount of experience, and part of medical school is to give you experience more than anything. I think the actual content at medical school you probably could cover in 4 years, but it's to give you that extra time to be with patients, to be in the hospital environment or the GP environment, and get a taste for all different types of medicine, and you know, see all these different cases on the job. So I think that if you are going to choose a career in medicine, although you might say this in your interview that you really love having a lifelong learning journey, practically it's really hard. I think on social media I've seen this thing quite a bit where people make medicine their personality. And you know, it's so hard to not make medicine your personality, because when you dedicate so much time and effort to this one career, it does consume your life. And this is why I think there are issues with work-life balance and having a family with medicine, and all these things, especially as you move up the career ladder. So it's something that I hope will change in medicine culture, the career culture in the UK over the next few years. But yeah, at the moment it's pretty tough, and it really is lifelong learning. I mean, I've got exams now in medical school that I'll have, if I want to do like MRCS or FRCS or whatever, if I want to apply to specialty training, I'm going to have exams for that in my foundation years, and even throughout training and, getting to be a consultant, that can take, anywhere from like 8 to 10 years, which is a long time when you compare it to other professions. So yeah, definitely understand what you're getting yourself into, and it really is lifelong learning. And I guess that was all the very practical points that I've observed over my time in medical school. But actually another thing which is really important nowadays, and you'll hear a lot about, is the mental health aspect as well. I think that for most people, if you ask them, the hospital is a depressing environment. For me, I've got very good connotations with the hospital because it's where I've always wanted to, see myself work. So I don't have that correlation. However, when you see patients who are in pain, who are not doing well, who don't have good prognosis, then it does get you down. And especially when you can't do much for them. And I saw a lot of that in general practice actually, when a lot of people, they have all these social, biopsychosocial factors that play into their health. If someone's got cardiovascular disease, it's probably, could be because they're working 2 jobs to afford rent, so they're eating unhealthily and they're stressed. And, as a doctor, how much of that can you really help with? We can help with starting statins and giving lifestyle advice, but end of the day, we can't pay somebody's rent, we can't give somebody better housing, and we can't change someone's social network or relationships, right? So that is quite difficult. It's a difficult part of the job, and trying to not attach yourself with patients as well, especially in general practice where you're seeing patients, the same ones all the time, is hard. It's really difficult. I think in hospital it's a bit more different because these patients, they're really unwell. So seeing that can be really difficult, especially when you can't do much for them. Alright everybody, well that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you found this useful, and I hope it's not put you off studying medicine, okay? Every career has its highs and its lows, and the point of this video and my channel in general is to give you a realistic idea of what it's like studying medicine, being a medical student, and my journey to becoming a doctor. So by all means, do your research and then find out if this is a career for you. So I hope, you found this useful, and I will see you all in my next video. If you've got any comments, let me know. Any questions, feel free to ask, okay? Goodbye.